Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining in. So today's video is definitely going to be a very interesting video because I am going to show you one scenario which is pointing out if the price of Bitcoin is going to see any sort of a movement here to the upside, then we have to be extremely careful because that could be a big bull trap placed for us. Why? Because we have seen, guys, in the bigger time frame, whenever the price of Bitcoin has shown an actual impulsive movement, what has happened before? And capitulation phase or so-called accumulation phase type of scenario. And in our case right now, if you look at this RSI William percentage error, we have just started this capitulation phase, and that's why, guys, that's why we can see that price of Bitcoin could show some more range bound, but also could show a pullback before an actual movement here to the upper direction. Why? Because if you look at this here, this example from 2015, when the price of Bitcoin was in a downtrend, and when we also saw this RSI line, this is in a monthly time frame, dropping below this 50 level, and at the same time this William percentage error in -80 area, we found out that after that the price of Bitcoin did saw a retracement, but you can see more of a consolidation or this capitulation phase and a new markup phase. And when did this new impulsive movement or this markup phase started? When this RSI line started jumping above 50 level, and at the same time this William percentage error above -80, and that indicated us that now this capitulation phase has ended and the price of Bitcoin could be starting this new impulsive movement. And after that, we did saw this really nice impulsive movement playing out here in price action of Bitcoin. For example, in 2018, a very similar scenario happened. I mean, price was in a downtrend. We saw this RSI line dropping below 50 level, and at the same time this William percentage error also below -80. After that, we saw a retracement and price capitulation, and when the RSI line started going above this 50 level, and at the same time this William percentage error above -80, then we knew that this capitulation phase has ended, and after that the price of Bitcoin also started this new movement. Right now it might look the small movement, right? But if you look at this here from this percentage from where the price broke, you can see almost like around 200%. And now if we look in our case in 2022, the RSI line had just started going below 50 level, and also this William percentage error below -80. So that's why what I am actually expecting is more of a range bound, right, and small pullback before price starts with this actual markup phase type of scenario. So that's why I'm also expecting a movement here in this manner for Bitcoin. A retracement, we could be dipping around this 24,000-25,000. I've been very clear about that, and slowly showing this range bound type of scenario. It could be lasting months because this capitulation phase lasted like around 3 months. This one lasted almost a year, so this could be like months or years of capitulation phase. So that's why, guys, please be careful and please do not over leverage yourself at this current stage, because right now if we look at this price movement, right, the reason why we could be seeing this bull trap type of scenario playing out in price action of Bitcoin. Now, if you look at this price action again here in a weekly time frame, you can see, guys, the price of Bitcoin is inside this falling wedge, because yesterday when the price was below it, I showed you that we could be seeing a really rally type of scenario in a immediate short term, and that did happen, right? Price came above this 30,000 and now again below this 30,000 and holding its ground around this 29,000 area. But the question here is, will this 30,000 also be regained? Because we have said not just only the lower line support from this falling wedge is going to be an important line of support, but also this Fibonacci line, because I made it very clear on my yesterday's video. If the price of Bitcoin here in a weekly time frame wants to show any sort of impulsive movement, then we have to regain our support above this 0.5 Fibonacci line, right? This 0.5 Fibonacci line is around 30,200 price area. So if the price of Bitcoin manages to close this weekly above this 0.5, then this could be actually triggering a really rally type of scenario where we could be entering between this 34 to 32,000 range, right, before choosing an actual trend duration. Otherwise, closing this weekly or staying below this 30,000, right, will clearly indicate a sign of weakness where the price could be actually failing to hold the line, the lower line area from the falling wedge, and also start with this range bound type of scenario before choosing a trend duration. So that's why we have to be very, very careful at this current stage, because we don't want the bulls to trick us, because you know, according to this YCAP also, the area where we are finding ourselves, this is an area where in most of the cases we have seen a relief rally type of scenario playing out. Just like here, you can see a price consolidation breaking the support line, right? A pullback and then a relief rally, after that a pullback, and only after this actual consolidation a new marker phase for Bitcoin. So that's why, guys, that's why we have to be extremely careful, because we don't want the bulls to trick us, making us believe that this is an actual V-shaped type of recovery before price again starts dropping in this manner. So please be careful at this current stage. And besides this, why I'm also going to show you with another strong example that the price of Bitcoin, if we are going to see any sort of relief rally, that might not last longer. Because if you look at this crossover, this 50 and 20 exponential moving average, these moving averages are very, very important for us, because whenever we have seen this red line, which is the 50 exponential crossing above this 20 exponential moving average, exactly after that you can see the price of Bitcoin has started this downtrend. If you don't believe me, you can see here 20 exponential moving average, or the green line, was below 50 exponential moving average. This bearish crossover happened here, right? After that we saw this price retracement, just like here. Similar scenario unfolded here. Bearish crossover where the 50 exponential was above this 20 exponential. After that, price retracement. But guys, there is a similarity here in price action on Bitcoin. So if we do manage to see any sort of a relief rally here, again, where could be the price of Bitcoin getting gravitated towards this 20 or 50 exponential moving average. This 20 or 50 exponential moving average is definitely going to be a line where we could be getting gravitated, and also a line of resistance, because you can see after this bigger price retracement, the price of Bitcoin tried to break out of this line one more time, but it failed. And what happened after that? Price retracement. Similar scenario unfolded here. Price broke here to the downside, tried to break out of this 20 or 50 exponential moving average, failed, and after that price retracement and actual consolidation before showing this new impulsive movement. So that's why, guys, that's why right now, even if this is going to be a relief rally, you can see there are a lot of obstacles for Bitcoin lying around. Only after breaking this kind of obstacle, we could be saying that this is no more a relief rally, but the actual movement here to the upper direction. So for this actual movement here to the upside, what we want the price of Bitcoin to do, the price of Bitcoin to clearly close above this 50 or 20 exponential moving average. Because in an uptrend, right, in an uptrend like this, what has happened? The 20 exponential always remains at the top, right, and the red line or the 50 exponential at the bottom. This bullish crossover, right? Similar scenario unfolded here. Bullish crossover where this green line appears at the top and red line at the bottom. And whenever that has happened, after that we have seen some bullish price movement. So that's why if this is going to be an actual movement here to the upside, then we also want the price of Bitcoin to clearly find support above this 20 and exponential moving average and 50 exponential moving average, and this crossover also do happening. And only after that we could see that this trend could continue this relief rally. Because if you look here to the downside, MACD is still a bearish MACD cross, RSI line still below 50 level, and also the T2CCI in a negative territory. And if you look at this right now, right here in a smaller time frame, not in a monthly, weekly, or even a daily time frame, things could be looking very, very interesting, and also indicating that this relief rally could be happening very, very soon. Because if you look around this price area here in a 4-hour time frame, a very interesting scenario is unfolding. So now if you look at this price action here in a 4-hour time frame, you can see what is this pointing us. If the price of Bitcoin, right, is forming this descending broadening wedge, or even inside this descending broadening wedge, if you look at this properly, we could be forming inverse head and shoulder type of scenario. So this inverse head and shoulder is also indicating if we want to see any sort of impulsive movement, then you can see which line must be broken. This upper line from this descending broadening wedge, or this neck line from inverse head and shoulder, and this line are lying exactly around this 30,000 to 30,500 range. So that's why I'm showing you in a weekly time frame why the price here must close above this 30,000 if we want to see any sort of a impulsive movement playing out in price action Bitcoin. Otherwise, this relief rally may not last longer. And if that is going to happen, let's suppose if the price is going to break out of the 30,000 and also close the weekly above it, then you can see this relief rally could be getting gravitated towards this 32 to 34,000 range. So this here, right, is going to be our potential upper target if the price of Bitcoin manages to close the weekly above 30,000 or break this neckline or the upper line area from this descending broadening wedge, which is also lying around 30,000 price range. So these are some of the interesting scenario I thought sharing with you in today's episode. If you enjoyed my work, then please hit the like button, and also for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.